Welcome back, How Happy Family. This video is brought to you by the No Labels Tour. The No Labels Tour is a tour in which you can learn how to close deals, monetize your business, and just better yourself as a person. Go check out the Smart Guy _ on Instagram and NoLabelsTour.com. Thank y'all.
Here we are, How It Happened, episode 6. We got a special guest today. My man Smart is in the building, rapper, psychologist, subconscious explorer, boxer, motivational speaker, philanthropist, activist. You do a lot, bro. So, Smart, thank you for joining us here today, man.
I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming out.
Appreciate you.
Basically, what we do at this podcast is we trying to get like real in-depth stories and see how we can inspire the youth and stuff. So, I want to start from the beginning. Like, where'd you come from?
Well, my mama. 25 Overy Lane.
Okay.
They had a flood, and I had to get up out of there. Then I was, bounced around, Harlem, Brooklyn, Staten Island, just because I was in the system, different shelters and stuff like that. So we had, me and my moms had bounced around early on. So just basically predominantly you say Harlem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what were some of like the specific challenges that you were going through in Harlem?
Man, it was a lot, right? Abandonment. I had abandonment issues. My mother was, doing drugs and stuff like that. My father wasn't around. So I had a lot. Abandonment issues, low self-esteem, anger issues, even drug issues, because I was drinking early as I can remember. So those were kind of like the things I had to deal with.
When would you say you first started drinking? You picked up alcohol?
Man, probably like 11.
Wow.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So what's that like going from system to group home to how you kind of developing as a person,
It's tough because, I had abandonment issues, so I never got a chance to cultivate a core group of friends, right? So, when you moving, you in a system, you moving. So you kind of build a rapport, build a friendship with somebody, and y'all hanging out, you're playing basketball, playing football, right? And then next thing you know, you packing up, you going. So I think that was one of the biggest things, right? Like just in the group homes, just having to not have, friends, right? Because I couldn't consistently.
You're bouncing around a lot.
Yeah, right. So that, and it just was a lot of, it was a lot of violence, a lot of fighting, because you take a bunch of kids who their family doesn't want, and they're all in one room. We fighting over everything. We fighting over the pizza. We fighting over the butter crunch cookies. We fighting over apple juice, whatever you name it. We fighting over. So that experience that's what it was.
And so you going to school at this time or not?
No, nah, I haven't.
What age did that stop for you?
About 8th grade.
8th grade, you stopped going to school?
Yeah, man.
So you're like 14. So then, what are you getting into after 8th grade? What's some of the things that you're doing?
Selling drugs, hustling, running the streets, fighting, partying, drinking, smoking, just stupid shit.
15.
Do you think there's problems within like the public education system in New York City?
Yeah, for sure. Because we could say there's a conspiracy to destroy little black boys, right? And a child's learning curve is the shortest, meaning your learning curve, meaning your ability to learn, right? So your learning curve is the shortest between ages 0 to 7.
Yeah.
So in the ghetto or in the hood, the curriculum in the schools don't take advantage or leverage that learning curve. So you're not taught the things that you should be taught at that age. You should be taught more advanced stuff. And you're not taught those things that are advanced. And then when you grow up, now you have advanced problems, but you have a insufficient or inadequate skill set. So now you're not properly prepared to deal with these complex issues that society is going to force you to deal with. You're not prepared. Meanwhile, other cultures, they're properly prepared for life.
That's true.
Right? Through nepotism, through internships, certain programs, right? So they grow up kind of like already ready into developing relationships, right? So it's designed that way, and that's what they say, systematic racism. Racism is a very real thing. It's evolved, and it's important for you guys to have platforms like this, to have conversations like this, and pick my mind so you can kind of like get information, right?
So we got you here for
like the proper, like the proper information, right? So there's what they call a status quo, right? And the majority who is conditioned to believe that they're the minority, right? Because I'm not a minority, I'm actually the majority, right? There's more black people on the planet than any other race. So the majority who thinks they're the minority is designed to limit them, right? And education is designed in that way. So I think as I got older, and I was in the best school of all, the school of hard knocks, right? Because they say experience is the best teacher. Now that, because I had to experience a more responsibility, like the life I lived younger, it required more responsibility because I didn't have anybody taking care of me, so I had to know how to take care of myself. So the things that I knew I needed, a lot of my peers didn't know they needed. So going to school, I didn't give a fuck about Christopher Columbus or timetables or social studies and stupid shit. I'm trying to figure out how to put food in my stomach, how to domestication, right? So life made me realize that you need monetizable skills, you need usable skills, right? And school didn't prepare me for that.
You feel like the streets did?
For sure.
Earlier you said that there's a status quo. Who exactly is developing the status quo of these people are the majority, these people are the minority?
Yeah, well, you got private families, right? So you got to think, history lesson right now. They say the Greeks are the fathers of psychology and shit like that, right? But the Greeks are not the fathers. They're the sons. The fathers are the Egyptians, ancient Kemet. So people from Egypt taught people from Greece and then Rome, and everything you get from Rome and Greece, you get from us. So, Africans and melanated people are the forefathers of every single fucking thing. Now, there's a lot of Europeans that they just can't stomach that shit, right? And so they try to rewrite history, right, and then replace it, right, and tell a story that's not actually true. Then you have some Europeans who believe that if we come into power, we're going to do to them what they did to us. So now it's a war to protect against white genetic annihilation, because a black man in his balls possesses the power to erase any race genetically, right? Because you can get the
dominant trait, you mean?
Yeah, you can get the recessor from the dominant, but you can't get the dominant from the recessor, right? So genetically, this is why homosexuality is also weaponized to protect against white genetic annihilation. This is why there's a focus to basically just erase us, right? And I think it's important that we have these conversations so we can make the younger generation aware, and we can create more so an independent mindset. Now you're depending on your own self, and you're educating yourself far beyond what the Board of Education is going to give you if you're a so-called minority. Yeah.
And what has been the importance of self-education in your personal life? Because you only made it up to 8th grade, and now you're a self-made millionaire pretty much. So, so how has self-education played a role in that?
I mean everything, because like you guys are presenting me, giving me a book, right? So when I was young, searching for knowledge, I was only searching for the things that I could immediately apply. So the knowledge base became more powerful, right? So everything I learned was immediately applied and it produced tangible results, right? And that's how, being self-educated was far more powerful than going to school. Because, hey, you may be in high school and you getting good grades, but strip you of that shit, kick you out on the street, put you homeless, and see how long you last.
Facts.
I'm surviving.
That's a fact.
Right.
Right. So my knowledge base was centered around survival, and how to take care of myself, and how to make money, and how to sustain that money, and so I mean, that education was far more important than what I would have received in school, because my family structure at the time wasn't set up in a way that it was going to provide for me. So I had to provide. I had to provide for myself. And then, being that my childhood was that, as I got into adulthood, it made me more tenacious. It made me more focused. It made me more disciplined. It made me more dedicated. I wasn't distracted by the bitches. I didn't have time to play video games because I didn't have a TV. There was no Wi-Fi hookup for me, right? It wasn't Roblox. It wasn't GTA. It was none of that shit, right? Like, I had to really figure out, okay, how am I going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And then that mindset made me more responsible, made me more disciplined, made me more dedicated, right? Now we look at these traits, right? Responsibility, dedication, and discipline, right? You have to be disciplined. Discipline is restraint. Everybody wants to party, but I want to work. Because what I do today is going to affect me tomorrow. Everything I do today is going to affect me tomorrow. And tomorrow comes fucking fast. Comes faster than you know, right? So that's discipline, right? Then dedication. Dedication is consistency. You have to be consistent, right? You have to be consistent, and you have to master your emotions, because your emotions are going to sway when you're focusing on one fucking thing. That's just the fucking anxiety to distract you and take you away from the parallel path, which is staying fucking focused, right? That's the dedication. I have to be dedicated to my vision, right? And then we talk about responsibility. I have to be responsible, right? I know that I can't drink at this time, because if I drink, I'm not gonna wake up. I gotta get up in the fucking morning, right? I know if I smoke and I'm wasting my money on smoke or girls or whatever a vice could be for somebody that is under 20, whatever that vice could be, I know I can't indulge in that vice. I know I can't entertain that shit. I can't fuck with that, because where my life is set up, it's pluses and minuses, and minuses and pluses, right? If I take this, I'm gonna lose this.
Yeah.
Oh man, now I'm weighing shit out, right? Like, okay, well, if I do this, if I go to this party and spend this money, that's dinner. I don't have allowance, right? I have life savings. So that was a big difference, right? In terms of finances and financial intelligence and financial literacy and my personal economics at that time, right? To where somebody at that age, they probably had allowance. That was my life savings. So now I'm making life decisions with $5. You see?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So now I learned to be responsible, and then as I got older, I learned, well, I'm not going to the strip club to throw no fucking money on no bitches, right? I'm not going to Wingstop, and shout out to Wingstop, but I'm not going. This is fucking expensive, man. Wingstop is expensive. 12 wings like $8, right? I'm gonna go to the supermarket. And buy me a pack of fucking chicken for $7 and some seasoning for $5, which is how much is 7 plus 5 is what, 12?
Yeah.
So that's $12. I spent $12 and ate like a king.
And you getting healthier.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So so those things were how I became successful. The key to being successful is consistency, and you gotta have discipline. When everybody's going left, you gotta go right. Fuck them, right? And you have to understand that, okay, how you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. Your thoughts create electromagnetic vibrations, okay? And in your brain, there's a fluid, right? It's called neuromelanin. Okay, there's neuromelanin, right? And that shit is like almost a conduit for electricity because your thoughts create electromagnetic vibrations. Those vibrations have a gravitational pull and then they attract things to you. That's how the law of attraction works. That's how the law of manifestation works. So the more you think about something, right? The more you think about it, you start to feel it. So if you feel bad, right, your body produces chemicals, right? That can make that also creates anxiety or depression, right? If you're happy and you're excited, your body produces what they call endorphins, right? Dopamine, right? Your body produces this shit and you feel good. So understanding that your body can produce any chemical you see in a CVS, your body can produce that. So when you're trying to motivate yourself and you're trying to do things, you have to make sure you have the thoughts that are relevant or conducive to achieving that goal. Then you have to understand diet. This is where the bullshit comes into play with minorities, okay? You know, when you're young and you're eating sugar and you're eating aspartame and MSG and
that fucking food coloring they got
and mercury, right?
Yeah.
Those things create autism. They create ADHD. They create emotional disorders. They create dementia. They create autism. They create bipolarism. So you want to be focused. You want to be motivated. You want to do the right thing, but you can't because the shit you eating is fucking with your emotions. So in the morning, instead of you eating fruit and getting natural electrolytes, you're eating fucking Pop-Tarts and fucking cereal. And then you're crashing out. You're feeling a burst of energy, and then you're crashing out, and then you're feeling depressed. You're feeling fucked up. And then the teachers and your mom is like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And you're like, "Mom, it's the refrigerator." Right?